Hello again, it's Noob, and today we get to look at this GJ Locks 2-in-1 dimple lockpick, which is for Yale Superior, Yale Platinum, the Apex AP cylinders, and the Miller versions of that cylinder. So lots of different locks. And I've been following the evolution of this particular pick design for a number of years now. So as you know, on my channel, I focus on lockpicking and locksport, but I also like to know what locksmiths are using. And I happen to know that GJ Locks is very popular with locksmiths, and GJ Locks, for full disclosure, kindly lent this to me so I could make a review on it. So yeah, this is a 2-in-1 dimple lock pick for what locks? Well, if you're in the UK, you'll be extremely familiar with these. We have the Yale, I think the Platinum, the Superior, and the Apex AP. I think Miller do a version of this lock as well, which this lockpick will be useful for, but not just these locks, which we'll come on to a little later. Even though it doesn't advertise, it can pick more than just these. So these locks range in lots of different pins. You'll see that there's lots of markings here. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 pins, and this lock has 9 pins. This one has, I think, 6 pins, and this one has 5 pins, and you can see that's reflected by the length of the barrels there. But these locks are incredibly popular across the UK, so this tool is really handy for people who professionally pick locks for a living. What about the fact that you have different warding in the locks? So if I look at the Yale versus the Apex, you can see that the warding is slightly different. Well, this actually has removable tips. So one is for the Yale, let me get the Yale, that goes in there, and one for the Apex, like that. And obviously if I try and swap this over, it won't fit, and this one won't fit either because of the warding. So you need these 2 tips. Why are they removable? Why do they slide out? Well, that, if you've been following the evolution of this tool as well, if I pop this in, you'll see exactly why that's the case. So here's the Yale. Imagine that I've picked that bottom row of pins because they always pick first. Look at this little button that goes in, and we'll talk about that in a second. Then you can pick all your pins, click, 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 click. It'll fall into a full set, and then you'll pick yourself out of the full set, and then it'll fall into a deeper full set, meaning that you're now on the sliders. If I remove the whole tool, I will lose tension on the lock, and then it'll just reset. I can't get any further. But what if, once we pick this lock, pick, it's picked. What if I can just remove the actual picking tip and leave this tension tip in? That means I can then use this tool or a dimple flag, or maybe even a half diamond, to go in and just pick or jiggle. So pick that way up and then jiggle this way up the sliders and get the open like that. If it still doesn't open, it falls into another sort of deeper full set. It probably means that you're not actually interacting with, I think it's on the Platinum here, you're not interacting with a button at the back which engages a cam. So you can then use this tool to sort of capture that, push it in, and turn the lock open. So it really does come with everything. It's got your 2-in-1 tool, your tensioner, your markings here for your pins, so you can go along and see which pin you're on. It's got your flag here. It's also got your 2 tips for the Miller, Apex, and Yale locks. And it also comes with a case, of course, which is a soft case now, and some, what you can see here, I've just thrown in the hex keys, which will help you tighten anything up if it becomes loose. So what is the difference between the version 2 and the version 3? Well, the version 2 has some coloured markings here. As you can see, these are carved deeper and are coloured in grey, which I kind of like. And also you got this new button. Why? Well, before, you really were sort of just tensioning off this tip, which is okay, but it doesn't give you an even distribution of pressure across the mechanism, and it didn't allow you to sort of keep the tool as centered, and therefore you tended to tension like this, when you actually, it's a lot easier to tension off this nice, generous, big tension ring here. So if I take this Yale like that, you'll see that this really does allow the tool to tension both sides. So this is actually a little spacer there. That does allow you to tension, but you shouldn't really tension off this alone. You also have this little pin, which then, as you can see here, look, goes in like that, and you push it in to the side of the keyway like that. providing a nice even distribution of tension across the plug, and that means that you're much better able to control tension from this ring and pick your way through the lock. And again, once you've picked yourself into that deep full set, telling you you're resting on the sidebar pins, again you can then just go in, pick, or jiggle, depending on the lock, your sidebar pins, and open them up. But that's easy to talk about. Let's actually throw a few locks in a vise, and we'll actually use a tool, and I'll show you how to use it and how it's effective and how it works, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, back in a second. So we have a Yale Platinum here. Let's just pop the key in. All works just as you'd expect. I've got the Yale tensioning tip in there like that. And you see that these two pegs are really what we sort of tension off in the front of the lock. So you slide this in, push this little button in, and this will seat nicely in front of the lock. You can put your pick in, making sure that the flag is obviously at 90 degrees, just so that you get sort of, you want to get the flag into the keyway and all comfy, so you can slide in and out like that. Now apply a bit of tension, so that feels all very nice to me. Go in, back to back, pin 9, little click, pin 8, little click, going along, pin 3's binding here, little click, nothing 1, nothing 2, 3, 4's binding. Go back to the back, little click on 9, back through. In fact, I feel really that we might be resting already on the sidebar. So what do? Hold onto this, press a button in, and just gently pull this off like that. Pull the flag out as well. And then we probably can see that we're in a what looks like a very, very deep full set. And that's the point where we can get our sidebar pick in. And we're just going to go in and just find those sliders. I've got another one there. Hear those clicks. And we are now into what is like a really, really deep full set. You might think, why is this not turning? Well, it's not turning sort of on purpose. This is now picked, but it's not opening. So what do? We take this tool, pop that in like this, just slide it in, and then we'll depress a button at the back in the cam here. Press it in, and now look. See, you've actually got this this now depressed in. You can turn it all the way around. It's just keeping those pins depressed as it goes past the Bible, which is really cool. We just did a full 360. So that is the Yale Platinum. A Yale Superior this time. Pop that in. Use our Yale tension tip. Get that flag in, press the button, secure our tension like that. Then we just go in and pin by pin, we'll just go in and just check what's binding. So far, sort of nothing. We have a binding pin here. Just ease that tension, apply it. Really positive click. Binding pin here. I've let that go as well, and pin 4 and 3 there. So just going along and just double checking that everything is where it should be. Feels good so far. I'll click there as well. So I hazard that we might actually be picked at this point. Everything feels nice and solid. So hold on to the actual tool, pull that out, get our slider pick, shove that in, and sometimes we can jiggle these open. So if I am open, there you go, we got it. And this one, I think, again, you can just use a tool like this to go in and make sure that you hold down those pins as we slide past it like this. There we go. Not quite as deep a keyway this one, so you can go all the way around and lock it back up. So that's a Yale Superior. Okay, something a bit fun here. I just thought I'd give an experiment. This is an M&C colour. It's a little bit like a halfway house between the Yale and the Apecs. I've got the tool here like that, and that goes in. But that's the Apex turner, and this is the Yale like scale here, which I'm going to be using Yale scale. Just making sure that I've got my tip in the right way around. There we go. And so yeah, it's like Apex turner, Yale scale, and it might not be 100% fit, but hey, that's pin 5. That worked. Pin 6 here. 5 again. There we go. Pin 6. Let's have a go at that. Feels good. 4, nothing. 3, nothing. 2, nothing. 1 is binding. And make sure I pick that nicely. Okay. Anything on 2? No. Let's try 3. I have to squeeze past 3. 4 now. Feels alright. Just check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 at the back here is binding, so let's get onto that. Oh, 6, 5, 4 now. Just check pin 1. Feels okay, you know, I think, all of these. So all of that really big counter rotation there, I think it's oversetting, so just relax, pull that pick out bit, pull this out. That looks like we're resting on the sidebar. So sliders at least, and then we go in with a tool which will fit this very slim keyway, because it is very, very slim, this one, and give these sidebar sliders a little pick if I can. There we go, and we got the open. Lovely. So it can work on locks like the M&C colour as well. Why not? Now we have an actual Apex cylinder, but this is extremely short. So the turner goes in very nicely. The tool goes in very nicely. Make sure I've got the flag the right way around, which I do now. But this now becomes the first of the marking in a deeper Apex cylinder. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this very short one, this position here is a position or pin 1. So we've got to just bear that in mind. So 1, little click, 2, click, 3, nothing, 4, just move past it, 5 here, just gently ease away onto the pin and just check that that is picked. And again, slide past 4, releasing that tension a bit, onto pin 3 here, making sure we are fully set on 3. There we go. So just check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That feels good. So we're going to withdraw the tool and just get our sidebar slider tool in like this, and just give it a little rock. There we go, and we got the open. Look at that. So there you go. I hope you really enjoyed those demos. You can see how effective the tool works. It is very, very similar to the version 2. So if you have the version 2, I'm not entirely sure if it's sort of worth upgrading to get this extra little tension functionality here, but having experienced the version 2, this is the better version. Of course, the version 3, it works very effectively, and as you could see, it doesn't just work on you know, the Miller Apex, the Yales, all those kind of things. Other locks which have sort of pins and a slider sidebar as well also can be picked, and probably I'm going to say the Malenko Magnum and a few other locks out there as well can probably be picked using this tool. The only thing is that the markings aren't going to necessarily align with the pin positions, which means that you do have to sort of go by feel, which requires a little bit more skill. So conclusions, things I like, things I might change, things I don't like, those kind of things. So things I like, it's a small improvement. on the version 2, and it's very effective, very solid, and very well made. You get a really good feeling that this is going to last you a number of years, which I imagine as a professional locksmith is a good sign. Everything's machined really nicely, and it comes with some extra hex keys, so I don't know, if your tensioning blade comes loose or whatever, you can also tighten it up, or the handle just gets a bit loose, whatever it is, you can tighten everything up. It's all replaceable and fixable as well, so that's really good. I like that. Comes with tools for your catching the cam and picking your sidebar sliders, which is all really nice. So in terms of things I like, just the way it's built and designed, it's very, very effective and very easy to use in that regard. The markings all really work really well, but this brings me on to just one thing I noticed, is that the paint, which probably should go inside these milled grooves, is just a little bit off center on this tool. I use the grooves themselves as the guide, so it didn't really affect me, and they're only off by a little bit, but it was worth mentioning. But I do prefer the gray and the deep grooves on this to the version 2 as well, so that is really good. So there isn't really much to dislike about this tool at all. And in terms of price, we're only talking about £139.99 excluding VAT, which for a professional tool of this build and quality is, I think, a pretty decent price. Anything I'll change about this? Well, I'm a lock sporter, not a professional, so please take my opinion with a bit of a pinch of salt. But I was thinking that in terms of where the flag is here, one of the things which I did find is that in some locks you can put the flag in and then turn it this way and it sort of catches, but you can still feel it moving up and down. Sometimes you over rotate the thing in the lock. There's all sorts of reasons why your flag isn't just turning that 90 degrees it needs to. And you've got these grub screws here holding the tension tip in, but I was thinking it'd be really nice to just have a single line marking on here to show the 90 degrees. So I'm just talking about like a milled cut, just like this here. So I know that that is at 90 degrees, and then that is again like a 90 degrees to that position. That would be really, really helpful, just so I know that I know that there to there is a 90 degree movement, and I'll also know that I haven't over rotated my pick to the other side because I can see the marking. That would be really, really helpful. Another thing I think it might be worth GJ Locks exploring is what other locks could actually be picked with this tool, and could there be some other tips that are made as a little extra and add-on. I'm just trying to think like the Cavio or locks like that maybe. Certainly the basics of this tool are really good, and as you saw, I can pick an M&C color with this. I haven't tried some other locks, but definitely things like the Cavio are next in line for my testing. And there's a lot of other locks like this. I'm just thinking maybe a couple of extra tips which can be bought separately. That might be a decent idea as well. But yeah, overall, excellent tool, works extremely well, definitely feels professional and robust, and I'd love to know your thoughts on it. What do you think to this tool? Do you think it's a marked improvement to the version 2? Do you own one? Have you used one? Do you want one? Whatever that you have in terms of comments, please leave them below. I do read them all and reply to as many as you can. If you haven't subscribed and want to see more content like this, please do subscribe. Hit that notification bell, leave a like. It all really helps me and I really appreciate it. Otherwise, stay safe, happy picking, and I'll see you all next time.